Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. I am back again for your mid-January 2015 monthly tarot video horoscope. This is for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo. I had to stop my computer for a moment, but I did put out the spread here and I did shuffle, just so you guys know. I am a little bit dolled up this evening because it is my birthday on the 25th, and I wanted to look nice for these videos, just to kind of celebrate my birthday, and instead of wearing a sweatshirt for once, but I have had clients comment how they want me to continue wearing sweatshirts, and trust me, I am in sweatpants right now, and I will continue to probably wear my sweatshirts in my videos. So anyways, the update is I'm a little behind in these videos because I've been very busy with private readings and clients, and I've been developing a whole new deck as well. So that deck is going to be primarily health related. It's going to be different than what's kind of out there already as far as decks, so I'm kind of excited about it. I am going to be doing my February reading, probably right around the 1st it'll come out of February. So I'll be doing those February monthly horoscope as well. So stay tuned for that. So anyways, I hope you've had the last couple weeks of January have been good for you. So to begin, this is for the final 2 weeks in January. Or just from, I guess, the time that I post this, about the 19th through the 31st. I think. And towards the end of January, the first card that I'm going to talk about here is this is going to be sort of pertaining to what's going on at the end of January, even into early February possibly. This is the moving card. So chances are you're going to be moving. If you haven't moved already, you're moving. A lot of people, there was a big shift. A lot of people moved at the end of 2014. Why? Because the universe was like pushing everybody to be authentic, everybody to be real, everybody to come out of hiding, everybody to raise their vibration to an extent and become enlightened. They're pushing everybody to become enlightened and for their energy to grow and expand. And moving really raises your vibration every time. And it's sort of just like a blessing. You get blessed every time because that means, you're being flexible with the world. Now, if you're not planning on moving, this may come out of the blue for you. But most people that get this card, they're at least thinking about moving. Even if they don't actually physically move, they're thinking about it. If you're not going to be moving or you're not thinking about moving, there also is the other possibility that you're planning to go abroad. You're planning to travel a distance, okay? To me, there's distance here between this pie in the sky and this, where they're standing here. I think overseas. I think planes, trains, and automobiles, travel, lots of travel. Yeah, this to me is traveling, to plan a journey, to plan a trip. So you may be going on vacation at some point as well, at the end of January, early February. And this is a big vacation. This isn't like 1 or 2 days away. This is like a week to 2 weeks to a whole month. This is a big trip. That's kind of how I see it. Now, the thing is, what you don't see coming, what's right around the corner, is this confusion, this feeling of being very lost, this feeling of being like you're not on the right path, and it's interesting to me because in order to get to this moving point, okay, in order for this to actually happen, 2 things need to happen, which I would say you have 2 what I call hard blocks, which are obstacles that are preventing you from getting where you want to be in life. Okay, so the thing is, the first hard block is the moon, which is feeling lost, feeling like you're off track, going down the wrong path, and just not knowing what really is going on. Going around in circles in your head, and you're the worriers, Virgo. So this is you worrying a lot about stuff. And maybe you're a little bit depressed because you're so worried about stuff. You're going over, the worst case scenario in your head, what could possibly go wrong. And in order for you to move or even go away, you have to calm that worry down. You need to plug your music in to classical and listen to it, on a regular basis. You need to do guided meditations. You need to really just calm your worries. There's an element here, too, of being authentic and being real. And it's interesting that I was just talking about that. You need to, if you have gifts, you need to show the world those gifts. You need to say, okay, these are my cards. It's sort of like you have to be like, instead of being like this, with your cards, with your emotions, with things that are going on with you in your life, thoughts, everything, instead of being like this, you have to be like this with the world. You have to show the world your hand. It's one of those things where if you don't actively do that, and if you don't understand what that means, message me and I will explain it to you further. But it's about taking off the mask. It's like, if you go out and you talk to somebody and they say, how are you? You can say, fine, thank you, how are you? But at a certain point, you should tell them, my life sucks. If it sucks, if it doesn't suck, well then, you're being real. You still need to be real. There's an element here where you're not telling the truth to someone, or you're not being real with someone, or with others, or even yourself. You need to choose love also over something fake, okay? Choosing to follow your heart is here. This is what, if your heart is telling you, go to Germany, you need to move, whoops, there you go. You need to move, go to Germany, move. If you're going to just stay in a job that you don't like, in a place that you don't love, why are you there? Why? For the money? For the fame? The glory? Why? It just makes no sense. You're going to come to that point where you're just like, okay, I can either do something I love, be real with myself, and move, and change, and grow, or you're just going to stay stuck going around in circles for a while. And this can go on for quite some time. So the challenge here is that you don't want to get stuck going around in circles, because time will pass you by. Suddenly 10 years will have passed. You're still in a job you hate. You're still in a place that you don't love. You're still doing something that, maybe you haven't even found a real relationship, or you're in a relationship that, you're continuing on in a relationship that isn't working anymore, which you refuse to get out of because you don't want to take the mask off and show the world who you are. You don't want to show the world. You're afraid. The other problem is career-wise, you're also stuck. Career-wise, you've come to the end of this path and you don't know what to do with your life. You're at quite the crossroads, because in my spread, these two cards really link up. They are right next to each other. You're going down the wrong path in a job you don't even really like, doing something that has nothing to do with you for the money. And you can't do it anymore. Either the job will come to an end, you'll lose it, or you'll end up quitting because it's too stressful. And those two things block you from getting to where you really need to be, or getting to where you really want to be, a place that you love, a place that you like, a place that makes you happy, with someone who's awesome, right? So, to me, you have a little bit of a brick. You got a brick here. it's sort of like a little mini wall. It's blocking you from getting to something positive. Virgo, I would strongly recommend, because you are in danger of having a cluster of negativity, that you work on your negative thinking, you work on being positive, you work on meditating, you work on doing some yoga, you work on being calm and having positive thoughts. Have using the affirmation of I am abundance, I am happy, I am wealthy, I am whole, I am perfect the way I am. I am love. You can say, I have an amazing career. I have an amazing job. I have an amazing life. Those are positive affirmations. The way you're thinking right now is, where do I go from here? What do I do with my life? And you want me to tell you. Even if somebody tells you what to do, it's not the same as if you want it. You have to figure out what you want and go and do it. If your mother tells you to go pick up your shoes, you still have to go and do it. And it's so much better if you just want to go pick up your shoes, put them on, run out the door, and go someplace, right? It's just a more natural feeling. And it's something that you need to decide. Now, I can help you go through the cards and do a comparison spread if you want to do a private reading for what is the most likely path. But you have to give me those options, we can, I think the most I've ever done is 12 or 13 comparisons for all these different potential jobs or potential career paths or different life paths. And it was interesting to see the patterns that came up. Generally, the problem is the person or the client. It doesn't matter what path they choose. It's their attitude that makes it not work. So in this reading, I see that this is very true for you. Your attitude is status quo. You don't want to change. You don't want to move. You don't want to do anything different. But you're miserable. So what do you do when you're miserable and you don't want to change, you don't want to move, you don't want to grow? It's sort of like you're going to continue to stay miserable until you accept that things need to change in order for you to be happy, in order for you to move on. And the universe is sending you the Page of Pentacles, which is the beginning of something, okay? It's the seed of potential. It's that... And I think of you as, I feel like this is you, Virgo. I really do think of this as you. And it's interesting because this has come up before, I think, for you. You're dreaming of material comfort and stability and security. For those of you who are younger, you may be in school or you may be going back to school. Virgos are always kind of studying, always in the library. They're natural librarians. I always say they're just naturally librarians. Let me see what the owl is going to tell me. Hang on just one second. What are the messages, owl? What are the messages? Okay. It's that owl is saying, believe in yourself and believe that you will succeed no matter what. Believe in your own potential and that it will be successful, that you will be successful. What else, Al? What else? Okay. Success comes after much hard work and sometimes much blood, sweat, and tears. And it sometimes is the road less traveled. It's something like to be akin, and I think of this card as represents this so much. It's about, the road is not paved for you, Virgo. It's not about following your father's footsteps per se. It's not, it may be, but it generally is not doing it the way he would do it. It's branching out on your own and doing your own thing, and it may be like the owl's saying, the road is less traveled, and very few people might have attempted it, to do it. But the thing is, Virgo, you need to have the confidence. I feel like Virgos tend to lack the confidence to branch out on their own. They're the ones that work in the same industry or career, dead-end job for 50 years, because they're afraid of doing something on their own. And don't be afraid to strike out on your own, and you need to be fearless. You need to be fearless. And then in the position of your emotions is the Two of Pentacles, which you're emotionally, you're going back and forth. You're going, okay, should I do this? Should I do this? What should I do? Da 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 da. And it's the same kind of energy as going around in circles, back and forth, being at this place in time in which you cannot continue going and doing the same thing. And the problem is the root of the problem. They say money is the root of all evil. Is you're chained to money. You're chained to the devil, which in my mind is money, is the Yankee dollar. It is. You may be in a relationship with someone who has addiction problems, sex addiction, drug, alcohol addictions, just issues, and you may have been tempted before by things. You may have been tempted to be with someone who was in a relationship. You may have been tempted to just kind of sleep with someone. I feel like this is not really typically you, so I feel like you're more the person that is in a relationship with someone who has those issues or who has had those issues before. You're married to someone, you're married to the devil, basically. And if you're not married, you're just in a partnership, or you have your boyfriend or girlfriend is that way, someone who has the addiction problems. It's not you per se, it's that other person. And the problem is that you have not broken free from this person. And, again, how do you break free from the devil? Well, you break up. You get a divorce. You file the papers. You move out. You stop doing what they want you to do. Stop giving them your power. Stop trying to please them. Why would you want to please the devil? It doesn't make sense. So you have to get your power back, and by getting your power back, in order to get your power back, you have to say no. Sorry, bitch, not gonna happen. Don't want it. Thank you. Goodbye. And that's what you need to do. Now, in the recent past, you've got this big money, wealth, financial wealth, prosperity card. This is big money. You may have come into some money at some point. There is also an element there's like two conflicting things. Normally, I see this card as being really positive. But for some reason, the dragon's calling my attention. And the dragon is greed to me. So there's an element of wanting to keep it. Even if you have money, you want to keep it. It's not enough that you have this big amount, and you don't want to give it away to anybody. Normally, this is the card about generosity. This is about the card about having money and giving back and donating money to charity and things. There's a part of you that's resentful. There's a part of you that doesn't want to give back. There's a part of you that wants to keep it. Isn't there a line that says, with great privilege comes great responsibility? I feel like people that get to a certain point financially, there is a responsibility to do the right thing and give back to others, and at least be giving to others. I mean, I'm not saying write a check for the whole amount and give it away to a university or something. I'm not saying that. It's more just like, for some reason, what I'm getting right now is in the recent past, you did not want to be generous. And if you were generous, there was a part of you that was resenting doing that for some reason. Maybe somebody told you not to be giving, to hold on to it. Why should you be giving? And or maybe there's a confusion about this money. There's confusion about money. There's confusion about inheritance. There's confusion about money, this amount of money. It's sort of like you don't really know what to do with it. So there's some of you that may have money, but you don't really know how to manage it right. And this is where I would say, there's several really interesting books out there on money. I talk about this book a lot with clients. It's called It Takes Money, Honey. It's a financial book. It's kind of an older book. There's a lot of financial books out there. I would go to Barnes & Noble and look up a whole bunch of financial books. You like this task, Virgo, because this is, like I said, you're a librarian. You like to read. You like to research. You like details. This is what I would do first, okay? Do your research. Read, research, see what your options are, okay? Before you do anything with stocks, bonds, or any of that stuff, okay? You want to just be conservative, split it up into savings accounts, and then do your research. And don't let anybody tell you, well, you're not going to make any money in a savings account. Because to me, the only people that have ever really lost money are people that have put it into the stock market. Okay? So you can't lose money in a savings account unless someone tries to steal it from you, which you're covered anyways by the bank, the insurance. So it's up to a certain point anyways. So chances are that's not going to happen. You'll lose it if you go and blow it in the stock market. This is just my little tip from me to you, okay? Don't let anybody confuse you and be like, well, no, you're not making anything in the savings. Put it in the stocks. No. People that do the stuff with the stocks are people that have years of experience and they understand how it works. And unless you have that experience, you're easily taken advantage of. So I would be very cautious about what you do with it. That's my only 2 cents on that note. What's crowding you is actually survival mode. So it's interesting because at one time, some of you have this. Others don't. Others are in survival mode. Others are, maybe you did have money at one point, but you lost it all. Maybe you did put it in the stock market and you lost it all. Or maybe you were in a marriage and you got a divorce and they took it all, This is, what happens when people get a divorce, they don't tell you about, So, I just feel like for those of you who are in survival mode, it's very important to live your life, to go out, to be social, to have fun, to do things that are fun, to do things that are free, okay, that don't cost any money. And work on bettering yourself, whether that's getting a second job, whether that's doing something different with your career. I feel like you've come to this point in time where you need to really believe in yourself. Do something that's part of your inherent gifts. You have gifts. Write down what those gifts are. Write down what your strengths are, and that'll be your beginning. That's the very first place you should start. And I'm going to pull additional 3 cards. So The first one is the Hanged Man, which is it's a favorite card of mine. And it's this little boy that's hanging in this tree. And it's the hangman. Sorry, I'm looking at these little fairies that are like playing with him. They're kind of like they're just playing around him. They're kind of messing with him a little bit. This boy here you could be a guy or girl that's going through this. To me, this is someone who's hanging in there. You need to have it's inner strength, hanging in there no matter what. Patience and being calm are important, but it's also important for you to take care of your health because your health is starting to deteriorate because you're not taking care of yourself. Maybe you got all this worry, stress, and stress is not good on your heart. Stress is not good on your liver. Stress is just not good overall, okay? Your stomach, it's just not good for you. So you need to focus more on your health, more on taking care of yourself. I feel like I'm getting like you need to work out every day. You need to start working out. Normally I don't recommend the gym, but if some of you might actually really like and do well at the gym. Even if it's a half an hour elliptical, just elliptical, you go in, you do your half hour and you leave. If that's all you do, then you're still doing something and it's still healthy. I feel like some of you just maybe have stopped eating or only eating one meal a day or eating crap, or maybe you're just eating like carbs or ice cream and it's just like, it's not good for you. And you need to like take care of yourself and actually like get on like a balanced diet. And you're really drained out. You've got a lot of fear, and you've got someone who's got a hook into you, and this is where I really recommend calling me so that we can figure out, cord. I've been doing more cord cutting for clients. Talking about having Archangel Michael remove the cord of attachment from somebody who's in your life that it's draining you and it's no longer serving either of you to have this cord in you, hooked into you. And that can rip a hole in your aura. And that can cause you to feel really tired, cause you to feel really drained out, cause you to feel just like can't deal with it anymore, And that's the cord of attachment. It's like the other person is taking your energy, taking. And you're allowing it, and so you need to just say no more, cut the cord and be done with it. Interestingly, the final card is the success card, is success. This is absolute success, definite success, fast, swift, good news, which you really need right now, Virgo. You really need this because I feel like for whatever reason, you're having a difficult time getting past this roadblock. And I feel like this has kind of happened to you before, and I feel like some of you are just resisting everything to change. You're resisting change, and you need to hear something positive. So this is really good for you. This is also a Cancer, Scorpio, Aquarius, possibly even Pisces female in your life, or that comes into your life that's very positive in some way. She is a very magical person. She travels very quickly. She may drive really fast. She's a fast thinker. She kind of works with a lot of emotion. She does have a lot of emotion, even though she's an air sign. I feel like this is an Aquarius because she's an air sign. That's what I'm hearing anyway. So I feel like she also could be Gemini or Libra. My feeling is this is an Aquarius female that's coming into your life. And if you're already friends with Aquarius female, then that's her. Aquarius and Virgos make very good friends. They communicate very, very well. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. They just communicate so well that that it's easy to have a relationship, especially two females, a Virgo female and Aquarius female. It's very, very good. So when she comes into your life, embrace her. Be like, this is awesome. Let's be friends. Don't shut her out. I think you'll want her in your life. That's my feeling. And if you don't meet this person, I feel like the phone is going to ring. Whatever it is that you're waiting on, this is just good news. This is something that you need to hear, okay? And it's coming. Just know that it's coming. Okay, I think that's it for right now. So I wish you guys all the best, and feel free to message me or feel free to email me. My email is elizabetholson31@gmail.com, and I would love to talk to you guys. I'd love to get you guys scheduled, and you'll see me again for my February monthly videos. Stay tuned. All right, I send you big hugs, big kisses. I will talk to you guys again later. Take care.